This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm glad you asked. You might say I have a spring in my step.
Oh, because it's almost spring. It's feeling very spring-like in New York, which is why we're doing today's show about spring.
It's spring week here on The Complete Guide to Everything. And yeah, do not adjust your calendars. We know this is a week early. We couldn't think of another topic to talk about this week, and it was nice out today.
Well, to be honest, Tim, I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. I thought we had agreed on doing springs as the topic this week, and I guess I'll just take all this research I did into mattresses and Jack in the Boxes and throw it in the trash.
I mean, we can do this. I can roll with this. Nickelodeon moon shoes.
Were those springs?
I mean,
Tim, you're already off.
Wait, let me take that again. I can roll with this. Pogo sticks.
Now you're talking. You ever see like the extreme pogo sticks that they have nowadays?
No, Tom, I'm not like you. I don't see things like this.
Well, Tim, you gotta open up your eyes to the world because they got these extreme pogo sticks. I don't know what the hell's in these things, a flubber or something, but these things bounce like you wouldn't believe, Tim, like dangerous, real dangerous.
I bet they got those thick springs that you don't want to go anywhere near. You know those real heavy duty springs. Like keep those in the factory. Keep those away from kids.
I want to say they have hydraulics in them, but I don't think that's how hydraulics work. But they're just insane. Like you can jump on it once and you'll fly over the house with it.
Well, why don't we
I think it's one of those things that, you know, they thought like, I don't know, a lot of people like devil sticks. We can get in on the devil stick market or something. You know, the kind of people that like devil sticks.
Yeah. I had devil sticks. Did you have devil sticks?
No, I had, Tim. I grew up in a very religious household. Of course, I didn't have devil sticks. I had heaven sticks.
What were those?
They didn't do anything. You just had, they were a crucifix. It was one stick and then another stick across it at the top.
I just told you how bad you were.
Yeah, but I think they were trying to get these things, these extreme pogo sticks off the ground. Like this will be like a new extreme sport
Literally.
any day now. This will literally off the ground. This will be in the next X Games or whatever. I think it just really didn't catch on. There's only so much you could do. Like people were doing flips and stuff, and it's like that's neat. What else? It's like, well, that's pretty much it.
Well, I mean, I think if you're just on a flat sidewalk or something, you're limited there. But if imagine like a skate park for extreme pogo sticking, seems like
I think it was too dangerous. You know, the springs could go flying into somebody.
How experienced are you on a pogo stick?
Well, I'll be honest, Sam. I don't think I've been on a pogo stick in 30 years, but the handful of times I tried it, I liked it. I liked what I saw.
How many pogos, what do you think when you were 8 or 9 years old?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your record for consecutive pogos before you had to like stop? You never fell down on a pogo stick, but like you had to just like put your leg out, right?
Yeah, because it was like, that last bounce was no good. This next one, I'm going to land on my face. I don't know, 5 or 10.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody go more than 4.
Yeah, it was also like a lot more tiring than you would think.
Yeah, and it was always creaky. It's like creak.
Yeah.
I think all the pogo sticks that I ever had, like the only experience I had with a pogo stick
all
was
the pogo sticks you ever had. How many did you have?
No, I don't think I ever had a pogo stick.
Sorry, I didn't grow up in a mansion, Tim, with an endless supply of pogo sticks.
No, I think the only pogo stick I ever had experience with was like, you know, in my grandparents' garage from when my
so like a
mom was a
real-
kid. So it's like all
Yeah.
rusted and old and dangerous. Like in the 50s, it was probably in 60s, it was probably like an old, rusted, dangerous toy. But then when I
Yeah.
encountered it in the 80s, don't go near it.
Yeah, I was surprised it even worked. That is wild to think about how, like, in the 80s, the 50s weren't that long ago. So when we were playing with these old toys, like, I don't know, I have toys in my home older than that stuff now.
Wow. I mean, you have a lot of toys in your home, though.
Yeah, and I still play with them. So it all works out.
Cool thing for a 39-year-old man. Do you hate that I bring up your age every episode?
Yeah, you bring it up like you're 20 years old or something. You're a year younger than me.
Yeah, but it feels... Look.
Yeah, because I'm getting up there. I'm getting close to 40. So yeah, it feels...
Because I'm not close to 40.
No, you are close to 40.
I'm
It's just
over-
in relation to me, I am closer.
Yeah, a lot closer.
Not
By
a
most
lot
account-
closer.
By all accounts, you're a lot closer.
No, if you if you looked at our ages together, I'm like 2% closer to 40 than you are.
Tom, if you put my age all the way on one side and 40 all the way on the other side, you would be so much closer to 40 than you would be to me.
No, that's what I'm saying, Tim. That wouldn't be the case.
If the limits were my current age and 40 years
your
old,
current age, not
Yes.
0.
yeah,
Oh,
you would
okay.
you'd be kissing 40, and I'd be like, "How's it going over there, you old timer? You
Yeah.
need help with your I don't know, the creaky limbs?"
My colostomy bag.
Yeah.
And yes, I do, Tim. Thank you so much for offering. Most people don't offer to help with it.
But Tom, I didn't ask how you're doing this week. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Speaking of getting old, though, I got well. First off, like we're in the prime age where people are selling our own nostalgia back to us now, which is great. I got the Tony Hawk remake. It's a remake of the first 2 Tony Hawk games.
Video
Did you ever,
games?
did you play those on like the original PlayStation?
A little bit. My college roommate played a lot of Tony Hawk.
Had a lot of ska in the soundtrack. Goldfinger and whatnot.
Yeah, we were a ska dorm room, a ska based room.
I remember the sign on the door to your bedroom.
Yeah, it was checkerboard.
Yeah, and it said, "This is a ska-based dorm room, and if you don't like it, then stay out. Also, no girls."
Yeah, and it said hep hep.
Pick it up. It said, "And if you drop something in here, you better pick it up."
Yeah, and it also went
But anyway, I got this game, and I've been playing it, and like I had to stop playing it twice because my freaking hands hurt so bad.
you know, skateboarding in a video game is a young man's game.
I think it really is. Like my hands are like cramping up from pressing all the buttons so quick trying to do these damn tricks.
How old was Tony Hawk when the original Tony Hawk video game came out?
I don't know, because Tony Hawk's been famous since he was like 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean, when those games came out, what was it, like 2000, 2001?
No, it was earlier than that, I
98,
think.
maybe?
Yeah, maybe like 98-ish.
I would have said that Tony Hawk was 50 at the time.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I-
because he seemed like it.
But I think he was like maybe 29, 30.
Yeah, from what he's 52 now. So like he's still not that old.
No.
But I also think like when those games came out, it was like, well, Tony Hawk's like pro days are behind him. This is like his retirement game. But
Tom,
it was
do
after
you
that
remember-
that he did the 900,
Do you remember when
I think.
Barack Obama was elected president?
I do remember, yeah.
Does that seem like a long time ago to you?
Yeah, it does.
No, because in the time between then and now, that far in the future, you're going to be Tony Hawk's age, current age, 52.
Yeah, that's fine. That seems about
Really?
right.
That kind of stuff is all I think about all day. That like stuff that didn't seem that long ago is actually long ago, and putting it the other way makes me an old person.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Tony Hawk isn't in, like a full body cast all the time.
Well,
I think
he's a better skateboarder than we are, Tom. So if we tried to do those tricks on a skateboard, we'd get hurt. But he's
dexterous. That goes without saying. But even if you're the best skateboarder in the world, you're falling a lot, and even with pads on, I don't know. I would if I had like the best knee and elbow pads and helmet on, I felt once, I would just be like, all right, that's enough. I'm going home. But not these guys. And Tony Hawk's fallen so many times.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just shocked that it hasn't caught up with him yet.
I've been doing a lot of reading about the Jackass guys.
Yeah.
Those guys really screwed themselves, huh?
Well, yeah, those guys are seeing the effects. So, I think Steve-O was recently celebrating 12 years of sobriety.
Yeah, Steve-O it seems like a success story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Reddit discourse about the Jackass crew. There's a lot of knowledgeable people about...
On what subreddits?
Like the news subreddit. It's maybe what
the news subreddit.
Tom, do you know how I use Reddit?
Yeah, I'm sure you've never even like subscribed to anything. You're just looking at the default shit.
Exactly. So every once in a while, when like, Jackass, like the new Jackass movie.
Oh, Steve-O's in the news.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like some like not important news comes up, and I click into the comments, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of comments. Yeah, people know what the day-to-day lives of the Jackass crew are like to this very day.
Well, I think they're all fairly active on social media.
Yeah, social media. We got to get rid of the internet.
Then how would we know what the Jackass crew is up to, Tim? We'd have to wait for MTV to tell us.
Well, I always
again.
I always read these. No, they're too busy showing hours and hours of ridiculousness. But I'll read these threads like absentmindedly for like 45 minutes and learn everything there is to know. And then I hate myself for it because why did I do that? I want them to unplug the internet so like I stop doing stupid things with my time.
Yeah, I mean, you're also talking about, you're basically spending your day perusing Jackass gossip.
Exactly. And then before I know it, my wife is banging on the bathroom door being like, you've been sitting on the toilet for an hour and a half.
Yeah, are you alive in there? What happened?
Yeah.
Like I'm catching up on the news. I'm trying to stay informed.
Tom, it's that time of year.
Springtime.
Almost springtime.
Yes. My second favorite season.
Let me guess your first.
You know my first.
It's the summer.
Yeah. No school.
Rank the seasons.
Summer, spring, fall, winter.
Wow. I thought I always get tricked into thinking that you're more of a winter man than you are.
Nah, I hate the winter.
Winter stinks.
Yeah.
But you're like an inside guy. You like being inside. I know.
Inside. That's what's weird about why I don't like it, because no matter what, I'm inside. Yeah. No, that's not true. But I'm more like, I don't mind being inside at least. And you would think I'd enjoy the winter more, but I don't. I have no problem with, look, I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy the outdoors a lot more than I used to, I would say. Especially I think after decade plus of living in New York City, like anytime I get into actual outdoors where people aren't on top of each other, I can feel life force coming into my body and bringing me back from the dead. But I also don't really have a problem with if it's like a gorgeous day outside, but I want to watch a movie or play a video game or read a book or something. I'll just do that.
See,
I never feel like, oh, I'm wasting a day.
Oh, I always feel like that. I feel like, look, how many more good days am I going to be around for?
Yeah. Before you know it, you're going to be Tony Hawk's age, and the good days are going to be behind you.
Tom, in all of my fears, I still assume that I live well past the life expectancy, the average life expectancy. So, like, in all my fears, I still, in all of my, like, anxious thoughts, I still think, like, well, when I die at age 95, but then I still also feel like, well, that's going to come in the blink of an eye. I'm 38 now, so it's only a blink of an eye before I'm 95 and my time on Earth is done. Man, my brain better never, like, be able to understand that. Like, I will
it out.
very, 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 very likely die a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, it's always crazy. I don't know if you've ever done this, but like sometimes, there's like a popular trope in media of like, oh, somebody finds out the day they're going to die or the time they're going to die.
In the news?
No,
in the news media?
Not in the news media. In movies, TV shows, books.
r/news?
Or if you could be told the day you're going to die, would you want to know, or would you could right now, Tim, take the average life expectancy. What's the average life expectancy for an American right now? An American man?
It's getting less every day, but I think it's around like 74, 75.
Yeah. So you're going to die probably in like the 2050s.
Right.
Like you could figure out like the average, the exact year you're expected to die. And, you can just keep that in your mind. You can keep that in your thoughts at all times if you wanted to.
Oh, it's more like 78. Listen to this.
That's not bad.
The CDC, Tom, the Center for Disease Control, says 78.6 years. Mm-hmm. But the CIA says 80 years.
Oh, well, they know about all the secret people.
Yeah, they know.
That are living longer.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah.
Well, and you got to think, too, Tim, if the average is 78, that means for every stillborn baby, there's somebody living to 156.
That's true.
So,
for every stillborn baby, Tom.
Well, I'm just saying, that's how averages work.
That is how averages work, my friend.
So, springtime. Tim, it's nice in New York City right now.
March, April, May. Those are the spring months. That's what everybody thinks, right? But this is BS. Because, like, the first
Are you going to tell me something else you read from the CIA?
No. Well, it's things that are purportedly from the CIA.
It's actually a lot more complicated than that.
No, but they say, so it begins on, with the, the vernal equinox, right? And so that's either March 19th, 20th, or 21st. So
whenever Vern decides it is.
Exactly. And Ernest will tell us.
Yeah.
And
he's the only one that can hear him. So
he's the only one that can communicate with Vern. Don't try to communicate directly with Vern.
Ooh, Ernest, that's dangerous. Don't try and talk to Vern without going through Ernest. You're going to be in deep shit.
So you're getting a third of March is in spring, right?
Yes.
And the first day of summer is June 20th or 21st.
Yeah, I thought it was 22nd.
Okay, whatever. I think it also depends on
when Vern says it is.
Vern gives Ernest permission to let us know. But that's 2/3 of June is in the spring.
Right, but we consider June summer.
Yeah, exactly. Everything needs to be shifted. Or they just need to reconfigure the months to line up. So, okay, April 1st is the first day of spring.
Yeah, I was reading, I was looking into all this stuff as I do. I had my research team compile some documents for me to peruse beforehand.
And by that, do you mean you open the Wikipedia article and skim it as we're talking?
I wouldn't know the first thing about how to do something like that, unfortunately. My grandson has to show me those kinds of things. But
you're almost old enough to have a grandson.
I am old enough to have a grandson. I'm old enough to have a great grandson, I think, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a very sad story of how that happened.
Yeah,
but
like
it could happen.
crimes would have happened. Like there would have been
multiple crimes.
Yeah.
But apparently in Sweden, they consider the start of spring when I think it was like 7 days in a row. If the temperature is above freezing, then it's spring. But I don't know, like if they have like a freak weather thing and that happens in November, or are they just like, well, it's spring now?
Yeah, I mean, do they just call it spring until it goes down?
Like we're under
we're
under 10
winter.
feet of snow, but it's, well, I guess like a freak temperature changes don't last for like a week, I guess is probably the long and the short of it.
Right.
I remember when I was going to college, my freshman year, there was like a few days in like late January, early February where it was in like the upper 80s out of nowhere. And it was very strange. It was just like, oh, it's summer right now for a few days. And then it only lasted a few days, but people were out in their bathing suits.
Tom, to that end, no, you. Well, I have some questions. Today was yesterday and today in New York City. Were really nice days. In the 60s.
There was a nice day last week too.
Yeah, but not
just
as
to be
nice
fair
as
to
this
last
week.
About 15 degrees Celsius for our friends overseas.
Yeah, this is what like everybody. I have a Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion calculator
device.
up on my screen right now. Yeah, it's a device. Okay. It's
Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah, it'll take about 15 minutes for me to do each conversion. But the reason I have this up is because we're going to get emails and we're going to get tweets being like, mate, I didn't know what temperatures you were even talking about. It's like,
yeah.
We use different things. And also, the thing that I don't like about Celsius, and this is the one thing, like I think the metric system is superior to what we use here. Like everybody has it figured out better than us.
For other measurements.
But exactly. But when they're talking about temperature in London and they're like, boy, it was really, really cold out yesterday. It was 11. Thank God it's nice and warm again today at 12.
Yeah. Oh, it's 13 now. It's sweltering.
Exactly. It's like you gotta spread these numbers out a little bit, or at least use decimals. Yeah. They're never
well.
Like
they
I can
do.
See if they're
they
like,
do use decimals.
It's a nice 15.52 right now.
Yeah.
They just don't. Okay, Tom, I have some questions for you.
Okay. 22 Celsius is 72 Celsius, by the way.
Wait,
22
really?
Celsius. Yeah, so 20 to 22, that's like the ideal temperature.
Yeah, we like
right?
it.
Like
Tom,
the ideal human comfort.
Along the lines of ideal temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Springtime.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is where I'm coming at it from, Tom. Yesterday I went out, took a walk in the middle of the day. Not something I've really done during the pandemic. I'll just like sit in my home and like try to take a walk at like 6 p.m. But I was like, oh, it's really nice.
But
outside.
you have that ankle monitor, so you're not allowed to go too far.
Yeah. Well, we don't talk about that on the show, Tom. We agreed. Falsely
we can talk
accused.
about why you're not allowed near the schools, though, right?
Tom, that's not a funny joke. If we were joking about like, oh, it was a hit and run, like that's one thing, but come on.
That's hilarious. But
we all think that's very, very funny. But so the first nice day of the year is really weird, especially in New York City, because there's a lot of people out, and some people are still in their like winter coat. Then there's some people who are just in like a hoodie, like me, walking around. And then there's some dang fools that are just out completely shirtless walking around.
Oh, really? You saw shirtless people?
Yeah, I saw some shirtlesses yesterday.
Wow. I haven't seen a shirtless yet.
Yeah. But Tom, they were in really good shape. So like,
well, of course. Yeah. Look, it has to get real hot for the people that aren't in good shape to whip off their tops.
Exactly.
But I mean, if I was in like really good shape, as soon as I would have a Swedish view of it, as soon as there were 7 days above freezing, I just have my shirt off all the time outside.
If I was in really good shape, Tom, as soon as it was nice for 7 consecutive minutes, I'd be out there and just be like, it's shirts off time. Look at this bod. You know what's, Tom? If either one of us had the initiative to like, during this whole thing, during this last year, this is what's killed me. If I just like did 10 push-ups a day, I would have been like a million times better off than I was right now. I'd be outside with my shirt off right now. I would have had to cancel this recording.
Yeah, I think thankfully we've gotten to the point in the pandemic where everyone's just kind of admitted, like, look, nobody got anything done. Nobody accomplished anything. Yeah, for a minute, it looked like some people were really doing some shit, but guess what? The pandemic lasted too long. and like they might have spent 6 months getting in really good shape or learning French or whatever, but no, it just went on too long.
But then we all got depression.
Right. But then eventually they got too sad to keep doing it.
We don't even realize we have it, but these next few months and years, we'll realize. It will become clear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm proud of myself just for not having put on like a copious amount of weight. I'm actually borderline shocked based on my inactivity that I haven't gained like 50, like honestly, like gained like 50 pounds because I have, an Apple Watch. So like I see my trends and everything and just like, oh yeah, no, there's no exercise happening most days.
Yeah. And don't forget, Tom, you and I last February, the end of February last year, a lovely fan, actually the Hershey's Corporation, sent us like pounds and pounds of Reese's Take 5 and other Reese's and Hershey's. Like we went into this pandemic, Tom, with
sitting
more
pretty
candy than I've ever had in my possession.
Yeah, than the average person's ever had in their possession, for sure.
And then they were just like, hey, also stay home and be crazy all the time, like the most anxious you've ever been in your whole life, and think that the world is going to end. Just going through that candy. I'm surprised by April of last year I didn't gain 50 pounds.
Yeah, and especially like I was remembering the other day about how in the beginning they were also like, oh boy, we don't know if everybody's going to be able to use the internet at once. Like
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna have to start throttling stuff. It was like, oh god, that's all I have. You almost bought a Blu-ray player.
I did buy a blue. Tom, I risked my life.
Oh yeah.
It was March 13th of last year. The world was shut down, and I went into a Best Buy, and I had to go into a basement in the Best Buy. It was before we all
Well,
were
that's
wearing
weird.
masks. Yeah, it was. Well, it was still at the showroom down. It's hard to find a Blu-ray player in a Best Buy these days.
Yeah, because nobody's out there buying Blu-ray players.
Well, there was a rush on them that day, Tom. I think we were all afraid that the internet was going to get throttled. Anyway, Tom, congratulations. I guess anxiety just burns a lot of calories. I think that must be what what got us through.
Anxiety and depression, the original dynamic duo, keeping everything. It's the same thing, like I was saying earlier, with the average age. You know, if you're equally anxious and depressed, you're never feeling good, but on average, you are.
Happy spring, everybody. Tom, it's springtime. You know what that means.
No,
It's time for
the
Tim.
Easter Bunny.
Nope. Well, yeah, at some point. But it's time for Tim's springtime questionnaire.
Oh, I wasn't aware that that's a spring tradition, but okay.
Well, a tradition has to start somewhere, and it's starting right now. You're witnessing history. Tom, congratulations. You got a front row seat to history.
Wow.
History in the making this week, during Spring Week on The Complete Guide to Everything. Just a reminder, spring doesn't start till next week, but we like to stay ahead of the game here.
All right. Is there an actual questionnaire, or are you just stalling?
Tom, I think the main benefit of us getting this episode out a week early is we got to jump on all the other springtime episodes that are going to come out.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're gonna see this episode's out. And they're gonna be like, "What? Oh no! They beat us."
Michael Barbaro is going to be like writing the script and be like, "Today, March 20th, 2021, the first day of spring," and then it'll be like, "Fuck no! Those guys did it already. We're gonna need another topic. Well, let's talk about another newsworthy topic. What are the Jackass guys up to?"
I'll have to take your word for it, Tim. I don't listen to the Babar podcast.
He's a charming king, Tom. He's a benevolent king. Is it Babar or Babar?
It could be either. Who knows? It's in a book, so nobody can tell for sure.
Tom, you know the book Jumanji?
I know of it, but I've never that was not like a book when I was a kid. I feel like.
No, it was. It was by Chris Van Allsburg.
I mean, I know it was, but like
the
it wasn't a
Express.
big book.
Oh no, it's a very big book.
Well, I didn't read it. I read the Polar Express, so I would know.
Anyway, one of my teachers, before the movie Jumanji came out.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, in like first or second grade, was reading Jumanji.
And before the second one, but not the one that's Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Right. But like my first or second grade teacher was reading it and called it Jumanji.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, because like there was no like source to tell us how to pronounce that word.
Yeah. It's a made-up word, right?
Yeah, but she'd like read it to the whole class and be like, "And now Jumanji. My sister and I played the Jumanji game."
Yeah, and then I bet when that movie came out, you were like, "What an idiot!"
She got fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
after the first trailer dropped.
Yeah, they didn't let her be a teacher anymore.
Well, I mean, it's harsh but fair because you don't want kids learning the wrong way to pronounce words.
Tom, time for the springtime questionnaire.
Okay.
In the springtime, you wake up. This is a hypothetical situation. You wake up. You're gonna go outside.
I wake up at the springtime.
Sometimes, Tom. Sometimes you sleep. Sometimes you've slept through the spring. You've accidentally kept your hibernation going months too long.
Unintentional every time.
You wake up. You look at the temp on your phone. what's the temperature where you're thinking, you know what, I'm going out with short sleeves today?
Ooh, 65 or above.
Okay, that's acceptable. I don't know. I think for me it's a 67, maybe 68. Otherwise, it's a t-shirt and a maybe a hoodie that I can leave unzipped.
Yeah, I mean, I wear hoodies, but I usually wear them zipped because I'm cold. I don't normally wear a hoodie if I'm warm.
Do you not wear it as a de facto spring jacket like I do?
No. Sometimes it depends. Depends on my mood.
You know what?
Because I have some nice spring jackets, and I love a spring jacket.
You're more of a spring jacket guy, and now that I think of it, the hoodies that you own, even the zip-up hoodies, you tend to buy a hoodie that's a thicker. You're buying a hoodie for warmth. If you want a light layer, you'll buy a nice jacket. I know this about you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tim. Although I do have a new hoodie I got around this time last year. I'm glad we got the ads out of the way so we can really get into the meat of this. A hoodie I got last year, just around this time, a little more than a year ago when I was in Key West, Florida.
Ooh la la!
And there was a tricky place in late February, early March, because during the day you go to the beach, you could, pop off your top, pop off your bottom if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you ever go bottomless at the beach?
Only 3 times. Big waves took my drawers, and each time it was a surprise and a very embarrassing situation. Watching my drawers go out into the ocean, out into sea.
Now, did you go and get those same drawers, or did you get new drawers that then got knocked off 2 more times?
No, that's the worst part, Tim. Each time I tried to go get those drawers back, and then I got so far out that a lifeguard, a very beautiful female lifeguard, would have to go out and get me, and I was naked as the day I was born.
Similarly, Tom, I've only been bottomless at the beach as part of an unintentional series of events. I was just walking around, and then a little dog came up and it nipped my drawers right and exposed my bottom to everybody. And the worst part was,
I got a really good picture of that.
Yeah, somebody took a picture of it.
Yeah, that was me.
It was you. It was the most embarrassing
moment
of my life.
I'm going to use this one day. It's like, look at that. Look at them tan lines. That's what I say. Click.
Well, never waste a situation, Tom.
Well, oh yeah. So anyway, I was in Key West, and when you're there, late winter, early spring, it's very warm during the day, but then at night it gets very cool. And I was out, perusing the various bars down there, and it was cold after the sun went down. So I went into a shop and bought the heaviest sweatshirt I could find, which was still a very light sweatshirt, but it was only $5. And I have that I have that sweatshirt to this day. It's one of my favorite sweat. It might even be my favorite sweatshirt.
To this day, you bought it a year ago.
Yeah, but a $5 sweatshirt, if it disintegrated a week later, I'd be like, well, I got my money out of it.
What color is it?
It's blue. Kind of a pale electric blue.
That's kind of what I was picturing.
Yeah,
maybe because I've seen you. How would I have seen you? I've seen you once since you got back from your trip to Key West.
True. Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. But yeah, it's and like it fits me really well, and like it's hard to find sweatshirts that fit me well. That like because I have like
your one really big arm and your one really small arm.
Exactly. No, because like I have like a green sweatshirt that I wear sometimes that I really like, but it's like very baggy on me. But this sweatshirt is not too baggy, but the sleeves are long, so I like it.
Tom, second question. Have you ever, a two-part question, have you ever / would you ever take your shirt off in the park?
I have taken my shirt off in the park.
Really? In a New York
Yes.
City park?
Yes, yeah, in Prospect Park.
Wow. When? Recently?
No, I mean not in the last year or so, but I've gone to the park when it's nice out and tried to get a little sun.
Mm-hmm.
Not to like get tan, but just like enough so that when I take my shirt off for the first time at the beach, it's not, completely horrifying to everybody.
A base tan. You used to go tanning once a year to get a base tan.
I didn't used to go tanning, but I've been to tanning salons before. Yes.
Yeah, no, but
I mean, I guess I did used to go tanning,
Yeah.
but not regularly.
No.
It was if I was
for that purpose, not to overdo it, but to just
Right.
make it so that you were going to be out in public shirtless at some point, and you didn't want to freak out the normal people.
yeah, the squares. No, for that it was more just it was like because I can actually get pretty dark when I get tan, even though I'm like Irish and Scottish. But the Irish and Scottish comes out in that no matter what, I will get burned first. So my thinking was I'd rather get burned while I'm in Brooklyn, like a couple of weeks before I go on vacation, than get a sunburn while I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, I've gotten sunburns on vacations and it ruins the vacation. So to answer your question, I've taken my shirt off at the park and I might do it again. Who knows?
I've been on a trip with you and other people where you got sunburned, and it not only ruined your vacation, it ruined everybody's vacation.
Exactly. I'm looking out for everybody.
You are no fun when you're in a bad mood.
No, I'm rarely in a bad mood, but if I'm in a bad mood, it's
God. You're in a bad
everybody's
mood,
going to be in a
you
bad
see to it
mood.
that everybody is, yeah. It's your least endearing quality, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom,
What's the next question?
do you think an adult should be able to eat an ice cream cone right out on the street?
Yeah, why not? Oh, you're going to say no, huh?
And this is a questionnaire for you, my friend.
Yeah, why wouldn't they, Tim? People should be able to do, if they're not hurting anybody else, people should be able to do whatever they
Who's saying
want.
that doesn't hurt somebody else?
How can it hurt somebody, Tim? Are you talking about that if you see somebody eating an ice cream cone, then you want an ice cream cone and that
No.
hurts you?
No, it's uncouth. It's not right. You shouldn't do it.
It's uncouth. Move to Japan.
Whoa.
Well, in Japan, they do not eat or drink like while
Here comes Japan's plainer white guy. Did you know
they don't eat or drink walking down the street because that's considered rude. And it sounds like you agree with that. If you buy an ice cream cone there, you're going to eat it right where you get it. I think I told you the time I went to Japan, I got an ice cream cone. Nobody had to explain it to me. I had read it all in the guidebooks, but they had this place with soft serve ice cream that had like 40 flavors. You never see that many flavors of soft serve ice cream. And two of the flavors that I'll never forget are rose flavored ice cream, like the flower.
Right.
Why you would want that, I don't know.
Rose water.
And horse flavored ice cream. Yeah, horse flavored.
I mean,
And like,
I know that
why you would want meat flavored ice cream in the first place?
exactly, and I know that we don't eat horse here, but they eat horse elsewhere, and
Yeah.
But just any kind of meat flavored.
No, you don't want chicken or beef flavored or pork flavored or fish flavored ice cream.
I would like to try veal. Veal ice cream.
Veal ice cream? Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it would be nice, actually.
You drizzle some marinara sauce on that ice cream.
Oh, God. Some cold marinara sauce.
Yeah.
You have a problem seeing seeing an adult enjoying an ice cream cone on the street?
Oh, enjoying, yes. Oh my God, just eating one like shamefully. At least I can be like, look, you found yourself in possession of an ice cream cone. It's hot out. What are you gonna do? Yeah, you gotta eat it. But if they're enjoying themselves, that's even worse.
What do you care?
I don't know. What do I care about anything? I'm damaged.
How is it? Why does it make you feel
Angry.
angry? Why would you feel angry about it?
I-
When you
I-
mind your own business.
I should mind my own business, but I can't.
We live in New York City, Tim. We've both seen people shitting on the street
Yeah, I
and
can't
doing
mind
all
my own
kinds of.
business when an adult is eating children's food on the street and having a
It's
freaking
not it.
ball
It's
about
not-
it.
Look, the ironic thing is, Tim, that children shouldn't be allowed to have ice cream. It's bad for them.
No, but it's bad for everybody.
I know, but children can't make decisions on their own. We should shield them from the idea of ice cream.
I feel like the majority of food, especially food that is consumed in America, is only safely consumed by people between the ages of 18 and 27. And then, like,
Yeah.
before then, like, nope, it messes up your development. And after that, it's just like, well, our
It's
bodies
killing
weren't
you.
made to process this.
No.
How great would it be to have 1 week of eating like you were 20 again?
Well, Tim, by the time you're Tony Hawk's age, you're going to be wishing you could eat like you were almost 40 again.
Oh, God. Don't say I'm almost 40. You're almost 40.
Tim, another thing that happens in the spring is the
Hey,
Bears.
we didn't finish the questionnaire.
Oh, okay. Well, how many questions are in this?
I have a follow-up to the last ice cream question.
Okay.
Why doesn't Mr. Softy sell two-stage rockets anymore?
They do.
Oh, okay.
You got to go to the right Mr. Softy.
Yeah, I don't know where to find the right Mr. Softy. It's an ice cream truck.
I
for
think
those across the pond.
they've I don't know, gotten lax in like I don't know. They got a two-stage ice cream cone, for anybody that's not familiar, is a regular ice cream, soft serve ice cream cone. But then on top of that, there's a little tiny ice cream cone, like a wafer cone type, like a sugar wafer cone. That they stick on top of that. It's great. You can also get a double two-stage rocket. You ever have one of those?
It's too much.
And that's
But I eat it all the time.
One single cone with two heads, and then each head has its own small ice cream cone stuck into it.
The tiny ice cream cone was so sweet, Tom.
It was great. It was like the perfect size. With all this, like, I guess it's not a big thing anymore, but like these mini cupcakes and stuff, that was a big deal. How come nobody ever got really into like that size mini ice cream cone? Like you go to a store and I guess they'd melt. I guess that's what it all comes down to.
What? A
I'm just
tiny
saying,
little ice cream cone?
But like 40 of them. And like each one's a different flavor. There's one that's rose. There's one that's horse. And yeah, you bring that into the office to make everybody happy or whatever.
Yeah, they would melt, but also I would like that in terms of like, look, I don't think I'm ever going to go buy a full-size ice cream cone again as long as I live.
Oh,
and eat that.
you're a real, I don't know what's wrong with you.
What? I don't want to
Somebody
die,
did
Tom.
something to you. You'll be fine if you eat an ice cream cone. I've seen other things you've eaten and drank. An ice cream cone isn't going to kill you. You can get an ice cream cone. You can go scurry off to the alley or something so nobody sees you eat it.
All right, final question on the springtime questionnaire. Should kids be able to draw on the sidewalk in chalk?
Yes, but it has to be good.
Oh. So it has to be one of
If
those
it's-
3D things that, unless you're looking
Yeah.
at it from an angle, it's
Yep,
got to look
it
like
has to be
stairs
some kind
going
of-
down to hell or something.
Some kind of shifted perspective type thing. And if it's not, then you can't get mad at me when I come out with my little watering can and wash it off the sidewalk.
I freaking love walking down the street and seeing that. I don't like watching them do it because I don't like the scraping of the chalk against the ground.
Yeah, it's a real bad look. Chalk on a chalkboard. Chalkboards are smooth. That's great, but sidewalk isn't smooth.
Yeah. But I like passing by me and like, some kids were playing out here. That's nice.
Yeah, I do like if it's like a whole bunch of stuff and it's like something for me to do, hopscotch or read a few things, try and interpret. This jerk across the street from me.
A child?
Like, no, that's what made me so mad. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, I guess like people came over to like surprise him for his birthday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they drew all this shit. He lives on like the first floor. They drew all this shit in sidewalk chalk outside his apartment on the first floor. I don't know where they got the sidewalk chalk. It didn't wash off for like 8 months.
That's nice. It's
wasn't
street
nice.
Street art, Tom. It's folk art.
It wasn't street art because it was just like happy birthday, Jared, and like balloons and stuff. It was like it wasn't.
How old
Banksy,
do you think Jared
man.
was?
It didn't take on the system.
You know
which
what?
is
I
what
bet
I
if it was
require if sys.
I bet if it was announced that was in fact Banksy, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, it's very cool."
Yeah, Banksy was outside. Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, no,
I know who he is, but I can't tell anybody. He kind of swore me to secrecy
I've known
when he
for
had
years.
me do some of his art too. Yeah, I'm not supposed to tell people that, but I do some of his art. How old was he? Like, I don't know, probably like late 20s, early 30s.
It's fine.
Me-
You're just a
it
cranky old man.
I was
I
fine
miss
with
my
it being
youth.
sidewalk chalk, but it wasn't sidewalk chalk. It was like paint or something.
Who cares?
It stuck around too long. Every time I'm looking outside, trying to enjoy the beautiful view, I gotta look at Happy Birthday, Jared.
Tom, I've been in your apartment, and that is a lovely view.
There's a little bit of the sky you can see.
Okay, that concludes the questionnaire. You passed with flying colors.
Oh, thank you. It's good to hear. My question to you was, you know how bears hibernate and then they wake up in the spring?
Right.
Did you know that when they wake up in the spring, they have something called a fecal plug that they have to shit out? They find these things, and at first they were like, what the hell is this?
Is it just a whole season's worth of poop?
Well, at first they thought that it was like a way to keep all the poop in the bear or something.
How do we keep... There's got to be a better way to keep all this poop in the bear.
Yeah, they didn't know who was doing it. But then eventually they were like, nah, it's not that complicated. It's just like, even though the bear's not eating something, its body's still producing waste. And it's just like a really fucking gross looking, extremely hard, completely waterless poop, like a black, hard, dry poop that comes out.
What do they do with it when they find it?
They eat it.
The scientists?
Yeah, to
The
find out
park
what was in it.
rangers?
No, I don't know what they do with it. They go, oh, look at that. It's a fecal plug. Because it would have like bear fur in it and calluses from their paws in it too.
What? Why were there calluses in there?
Well, at first they thought it was like, oh, the bear eats its calluses and like swallows a bunch of fur to make the fecal
Bears
plug.
suck. I hate... I was pro bear until 5 minutes ago.
But then eventually they were like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's not why that happened. It's just like sometimes the bear wakes up a little bit and is like, let me lick my paws. And then, the calluses come off, because the calluses, just like a person, they get callous paws. But then when they're not walking around for months, the calluses fall off.
Right.
I watched this video. I watched all these videos the other night.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I watched all these videos the other night of, it reminded me of when I've told this story about when I interned for America's Most Wanted, and I had to answer all the mail. And somebody had sent like a box full of photo albums where they pointed out where the devil was in all the pictures.
Right.
I was watching all these videos the other night, and I felt the same way, because there's all these videos that this person posted of like a family of Bigfoots that lived around them, like out in the woods. And I'm watching these things. I'm like, I don't see shit. This is such poor quality video. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. And then finally I was like, oh, I do see something. Yo, that's bears, lady. You got bears living all around your house. Be careful. Stop talking to the bears like they're Bigfoot and like they have an understanding of what's going on, like that the Bigfoots understand and it's some kind of relationship. No, that's bears. They're going to eat you when you're not looking. Well, so that's my other. Be careful for bears during the spring.
Yeah, be careful. What, Tom? What's your perfect spring day?
It would probably be like, I don't know, going on spring break, going to Cancun or Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale? You feel strong about Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, man, that's where you gotta go for spring break. That's where it's all happening. Did you ever go on
spring break when you were in college?
I not only never went on spring break, I knew people, not anybody. I guess I did. I was friends with people that went on spring break, but like I never understood like the logistics of it.
Right? It always seemed too out of reach. And how stupid were we?
Yeah, where it's just like, I don't know, people plan for it and they somehow like knew where to go and where to stay. I mean, the reality is that 90% of the people that were doing this, they went and stayed in some hellhole motel.
Yeah, but that's what you do when you're
yeah. Oh yeah,
20.
yeah. You're and had probably like a fairly miserable time drinking extremely overpriced liquor.
Why do you think it was miserable though?
Well, it would be to me. That's my thing. Even back then, the idea of spring break just didn't appeal to me.
Oh.
I was never into being anywhere crowded.
Yeah. You know what stinks?
What?
The best thing about spring in New York is like meeting friends at like an outdoor drinking place and just sitting in like the late afternoon, early evening. And we're not going to be able to do that at all this year, are we?
Yeah, we are. Why not?
I don't know.
Why? What's going on?
There's the whole thing, Tom. It's on the news. It's on Reddit.
Joe Biden said everybody's going to get a vaccine before May 1st today.
Yeah, but that's the last. No, he said they'd open it up, and that's the last month.
That
of
means
spring.
Everyone's going to be able to get one on that day.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, outdoor bars are like the only place where it's.
Yeah, but we're all still gonna have like masks on and stuff or something.
Not when you're drinking.
It's
not
true.
when you're taking a sip.
Yeah, let's just cheat. Let's just cheat.
Cheat what? The
Death.
system?
Yeah. These mask laws, they're just here to oppress us, man.
Your words, not mine. If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Twitter at complete guide. Follow us on Instagram at tcgte. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me, your pal Tim.
Check out our Discord at Complete Guide. Check out our subreddit, TCGTE, on Reddit. Also, if you want to support the show, check out our sponsors. Also, check out patreon.com/complete guide for books, a podcast, and much more. This week, the first part of Sherlock Holmes and the case of the Hound of the Baskervilles. I read it. I'm going to tell Tim what happened with these damn hounds.
That's great. Then I can go back in time and take the test.
Tell Sherlock Holmes. Take the test. What test?
I was supposed to read it for summer reading, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Tom, the Discord is hopping, and I just want to say, everybody should join it or whatever you do. But also, you said last week that you'd go in and enable emotes.
I did, and I went in and did it.
Oh, okay.
You son of a bitch, you dumb bastard. You're the only reason you're bringing this up is, oh, Tom didn't do something.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah, I did it. I mean, if I didn't do it right, somebody tell me, but I think I did it right. I'm a pretty savvy hacker.
You're a pretty heavy sacker.
I told you never to mention that. Tim, what are you most excited about for this upcoming spring? Baseball season?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't do any of the things that I like to do in spring. It's 2 years in a row. Spring is my favorite season. And 2 years in a row, getting boned.
Well, you can go outside.
Doesn't it
Most of your
suck how
favorite
much
things
I've
are
been
being
affected by
outside. I know. It sounds like it's been disproportionately terrible for you.
Everybody else has been fine. Me, I've been suffering.
You can do a bunch of fun stuff outside.
Like what?
Spring cleaning.
That happens inside and it stinks. It gets all dusty.
You can go to the St. Patrick's Day parade. I mean, I hope they're not doing that this year, but
no, they're not. Second year
outdoor Easter egg hunts. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That last year, that was like a real touch and go thing.
Yeah, the St. Patrick's Day parade. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like a week away, and it was like, ooh, did we start canceling things? And then we started canceling things, and look where we are now. Piers Morgan's canceled.
Yeah,
so I hope everybody's happy.
We built our whole culture around it, and look where it got us.
Yeah, I just hope one day we learn.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.